Good evening and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, so in this video I am going to be participating in the colouring habits tag. I do apologise for being a little bit late with this, but I'm trying to play catch up. Okay, so this tag was created by Sassy Coloring and I have been tagged by Jamie at Jamie's Colouring Love. I will link both of those beautiful ladies' channels down below in the video description for you. So if you haven't checked out their channels already, please do so. They are wonderful and you will not be disappointed. So yeah, this is a colouring habits tag. So what I'm going to do is work in this stunning new book which I purchased from Etsy. This is Erie's, I think it's like a walk through fairy tales or something to do with fairy tales. So I'm going to be colouring in here while I'm answering the questions. And I'm just going to put it out there that if you haven't participated in the colouring habits tag and you want to take part, then please do. Because I'm so late in recording this, I'm not sure who has been tagged and who hasn't, so I'm just going to put it out there and open it up to everyone, because the more the merrier. So if you want to participate, go ahead. And like I said, I will link Sassy Coloring and the beautiful Jamie. I will link their channels down in the description. Okay, so I'm working on these 2 pages. I wanted to work on this one, and then I thought, well, I'll kind of do it as a double page spread. They're both Cinderella, and it's ended up being that I've worked on this one a lot more. So yeah, I'll be colouring in this one while I'm giving you the answers to my questions. So I'm just going to zoom in a tiny bit. Okay. I'm using my Caran d'Ache Pablos on this page. I'm just going to take a sip of my drink before we get started. Whoops. Because it's fizzy, when I take the lid off, it sort of explodes a little bit. Okay. Okay. So the first question is, do you have a certain place for colouring? I do have my setup, which is sort of here in the living room, and this is where I do, you know, the majority of my recording and stuff from. I'm hoping to get back into a routine of recording more down here now. So yeah, I do have this little sort of setup in the front room, but I do also spend a lot of time colouring upstairs in the bedroom of an evening and whatnot. And sometimes when I'm not feeling so good or my arthritis is playing up, I will record videos from the tiny little desk up there. But I am hoping to get a slightly bigger desk, because the desk up there that I try to work on is it's way too small. So I am hoping to get a little desk for up there. So at the moment the majority of the colouring is done upstairs, but and that's also been as well because the children have been homeschooling. So the computer, which is down here, the main computer in the house, my eldest has been using, so she's been using my work area every day for homeschooling, so it's just made sense for me to colour upstairs. So I will say upstairs. Number 2, what time of the day do you feel most inspired? I would probably say that I feel most inspired of an evening, because that is when the house is the most quiet, when the kids are settled, you know, and yeah, the house is just a lot more quiet and calm than what it is normally during the day. But then with some pages, I don't know about you guys, but some pages I look at and I automatically feel inspired. And I kind of like, I just look at the page and I'm like, right, that's the colour palette. This is what I want to do. This is the sort of thing I'd like to achieve with the page. I think some pages just call out to you like that, don't they? But yeah, overall, I feel more inspired of an evening when the house is quiet. Question number 3. Do you stop mid-picture or do you have to finish it? If it's sort of like a quick picture, like a colour by colour or colour by numbers, I like to try and do them in one sitting. But again, a lot of that sort of depends on how I'm feeling. So yeah, a lot of it depends on that. But when it's pages like this, I can stop mid-page. That's probably why I've ended up with so many whips, which is actually ridiculous. It's crazy the amount of whips I have. It's seriously out of control. But I'm trying to get to them slowly but surely. But yeah, I can stop mid-picture. Because, you know, sometimes I'll have like a high pain day or a day where my anxiety or depression is really playing up, so I feel less motivated to colour. February was certainly a month like that for me, where I don't feel like I coloured as much as I normally would, but when I was filming my completed pages video, I was surprised at how much I had got done. But I feel like a lot of them were kind of, you know, more simple pages, because a lot of February I didn't colour, and I just didn't have the desire to pick up a marker or a pencil and colour. So it is definitely like a see how I feel on the day thing. But yeah, I'm fine with you know, stepping back from a picture for a bit. Okay, number 4. Do you eat or drink whilst colouring? I don't eat while I'm colouring. Yeah, I'd rather just not be colouring when I'm trying to eat. But yeah, I'll quite often have a drink, whether that's, you know, a coffee or like tonight I've got a soft drink. So yeah, I'll always have a drink nearby. But no, I don't eat while I'm colouring. Number 5, multitasking. Do I watch or listen to music or TV whilst I'm colouring? If I'm colouring upstairs, then the majority of the time the TV will be on of an evening. So it's just kind of like background noise. But if it's a programme that Aaron wants to watch or listen to that I'm not really into, then I will just put my earphones in and listen to YouTube videos or an audiobook. sometimes if it's a program that I am interested in, I'll kind of colour and then look at the TV now and again. Oops. But yeah, apart from that, it's mostly sort of listening to YouTube, or an audiobook. Number 6, one picture at a time or multiple. The majority of the time I do have multiple pages on the go, because I'll have like buddy colours that I'm working on. Like at the moment I'm colouring these, but I have 4 buddy colours that I really need to get to and finish, but I've just not been inspired with those pages recently, so I've just kind of took a step back. But the ladies who I'm buddy colouring with, they know that, you know, I will get to them. I hope they know. But yeah, I will get those pages done. It just takes me a little while, because I do sometimes get easily overwhelmed with pages as well. So I'll sort of take a step back and pick up something different. Whereas this book, I mean, since I've received it, I received it Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Yeah, last Wednesday. I'm filming this on Monday the 1st of March. I ordered the book last Monday for Mercy and I received it on the Wednesday. And I've been desperate to colour in it ever since. So these pages are really holding my attention. I haven't felt the need to sort of veer off and pick up something else, which is actually really nice. But I do eventually want to get into the habit of just focusing on like 1 or 2 pages at a time. You know, maybe 3 at the most, just so that I have a couple to rotate through. But yeah, I don't want to be like bogged down with buddy colours and all this other stuff. I'd like to just kind of, you know, keep it minimal and organised. Number 7, do you only colour at home or do you take it on the go? Okay, so very recently, like within the last 3 weeks, I took some colouring to the hospital with me when I was waiting in the emergency department, and there were people sat behind me who were making really snide, kind of really uncomfortable and unnecessary comments when I was colouring, and I was using it as an escape because my anxiety was through the roof. So I thought, right, I'm gonna just pull out my colouring book and a pencil and just, you know, just sort of try and colour and not get myself worked up about how many people are around me and how hectic things are. But there were some really mean and hurtful comments coming from the people sat behind me, and I think they knew that they were saying it loud enough for me to hear. And that's actually one of the only times I've taken my colouring out with me. And I really needed it that day. I really felt that it would help. But yeah, I won't be doing that again. So I think in the future I will just stick to colouring at home. And at least then as well, I can, you know, have my mediums out around me and, you know, I'm colouring in comfort and in a place where I'm not being judged for this hobby. So yeah, I will just stick to colouring at home in the future. Number 8, do you try to convince people in your life to start colouring? No, I don't try to convince anyone. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Is there another one? I don't know. Do you know when it's like you feel like you want to sneeze but nothing's coming? Okay. Okay, I think we're good. I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, I don't try to convince anyone in my life to colour, because I figure that if it's something that they want to do, then they will start as and when they feel ready. A few times I've mentioned to Aaron, I've just sort of said, you know, do you want to sit and colour a mandala with me, or, you know, and he's like, no, you know, I don't really want to, you know, sit and colour, but thank you for offering. But he's never mean about it at all. And I think it's something that he would really have to be sort of in the mood to join in. But all of my kids enjoy colouring to an extent. But my youngest, Emmy, she is the most into colouring and art and being creative out of the three of them, which is really nice. So I do have a little colouring buddy in the house, so that's lovely. But no, I don't try to convince anyone, because I just think if it's something that they might be interested in, or that I feel like they need a hobby or an interest to help them relax, then yeah, I would mention it. But ordinarily, no, not really. Number 9, do you go back and look at old pictures? Yeah, I do. Although there are a lot of books that over time have been ruined by the cats. So there are books that I coloured in that I no longer have, which I'm really sad about. But yeah, pictures that I've sort of coloured previously, I do like to sit and look at. And there are a few that I managed to salvage from books that had to be discarded, but there's not many. But yeah, you know, in the books that I do have sort of older stuff in, I like to look and kind of see if I can see any progress. And, you know, has my colouring style changed? Has my preference in mediums changed? You know, am I more adventurous with pages now and stuff like that? It's nice to see just how my hobby and my enjoyment of it has developed over the years. So I do enjoy looking at older pictures. And number 10, if you aren't colouring, hi Link, if you aren't colouring, what other hobbies do you have? I enjoy listening to audiobooks. I'm trying to get back into reading. I've read a couple of books. And I am loving diamond painting. That isn't something I do every day. It's not even something I always do every week. But I am working on a big diamond painting at the moment, and I absolutely love it. So that is definitely something that I want to continue with. If I didn't struggle so much with my hands with my arthritis, then I would love to get back into cross stitching, because years and years ago, even before I had the children, I used to do that all the time, and I loved it. But with my arthritis now, that's just a bit too much for my hands. But yeah, that is my answers for the colouring habits tag. So I hope you've enjoyed listening to my answers to the questions that were given. If you want to know any more, or you have a question for me, then please feel free to leave it down below in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Again, a great big thank you to Sassy Coloring for creating this really fun tag, and for the lovely Jamie for tagging me. Thank you so much for joining. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.